is this thing?
This thing is the magic box, and it shows up every once in a while with some kind of magic thing. It wants us to tell a story. You've never seen this.
I have never seen this.
The last time I saw it was Christmas.
Whoa.
Yeah. So we open it, we find out something.
Whoa.
I have no idea what's in there. Yeah. So let's look in there and watch, it goes way down.
Whoa, it's deep.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 10 floors down there. I took the elevator down there once.
Ooh.
Ooh, man, there's a lot of stuff down there.
Oh.
But today, wow. Breakfast.
No.
What? I haven't eaten yet.
No.
I'm kind of hungry here.
That's for my story. I need the bread.
Are you sure?
Hey, you're going to break the basket. Okay. Do you want me to tell the story
It's my
or not?
magic box.
It's my bread. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, before there were Unitarian Universalists, I mean a really long time ago, before there were Lutherans or Catholics or even Christians, I mean a really long, long time ago, in a faraway land, two travelers walked down a dusty road on the way to Emmaus, a village that was a few miles outside of Jerusalem. Now, these two travelers were heavy of heart. They were so heavy with heart, their eyes downcast. Something very terrible had happened in Jerusalem. Their friend and teacher, Jesus, had been killed, and they were beside themselves with grief. You see, Jesus had gone to Jerusalem to preach and to teach. And Jesus was kind of a little bit of a rabble-rouser, but maybe not how you might think. He taught radical, revolutionary love. That's what he did all the time. He would say things like, love God with all your passion, prayer, and intelligence, and love your neighbor as yourself. Love them as if they are intricately connected to yourself. Love a stranger like they are part of your family. He would openly enjoy eating with just about anyone, even if they were cheats, even if they maybe made a few bad choices in their life, maybe if they were very confused. He loved eating and drinking with everyone. Now, Jesus knew that if he went to Jerusalem, he might be arrested. He knew that his friends might betray him, but he went anyway. And indeed, when Jesus was in Jerusalem, he was arrested and killed, and he was put to death like most people were put to death in that time. His body was nailed to a big wooden cross, and it took a very, very long time to die that way. And his friends, those travelers on the road, they'd seen their friend die, and they knew that he had suffered, and they were torn apart. And so they walked down that dusty road, so sad, so very sad. And then a stranger came up beside them and said, "Hey, what are you guys talking about? What happened?" And the two travelers looked at each other and said, "Is this guy from Mars?" So Cleopas, one of the travelers, said, "Hey, are you the only one in all of Jerusalem who has not heard what has happened there?" And the stranger was like, "Nope." So the two travelers told him, "We are talking about our friend, our teacher, Jesus of Nazareth. He was a great prophet, mighty in word, mighty in deed, before God and all the people. And now he is dead. Do you understand what a blow this is to our community? We had hoped that he would usher in a time of justice. We had hoped that he had entered in a time of peace, but that's all gone now. And we don't know what to do. It has been 3 days since his death. And some of the women in our community, they went to the tomb where he was buried, and there was nothing there. And then they just tell us this very confusing story about some angels telling them that the Messiah is risen. We don't even know what that means. We are just beside ourselves. And the stranger said, how thick-headed you are. How slow of heart. Why can't you believe what all the prophets have been telling you through the centuries, including your friend, what's his name? Jesus! Oh, right, Jesus. What was Jesus trying to tell you? What was he trying to teach? And so the stranger began to talk to them about all the books of Moses and all the prophets, making sure to connect all the stories of the Messiah. You see, those two travelers were probably Jewish, or at least loved the Jewish ways and teachings. And I'll tell you another thing, that stranger indeed was Jewish. And so when he's talking about Moses, he's wanting them to think about bondage and hardship. And he's wanting them to think about liberation and freedom. And he's wanting them to think about the promised land. And he's wanting them to think about that Passover meal that they just shared. And they're wanting them to think about the meals and meals and meals and meals that they had shared with their friend Jesus of Nazareth. What do you think Jesus was trying to teach you? The stranger said. What do you think he meant when he was talking about freedom? I want to tell you about freedom. The freedom you feel when you treat every stranger like they are your family. Why, you do that and something deep happens inside of you. I want to talk to you about liberation and justice. The justice that grows in a community when everyone is welcomed around a table to eat and drink. You do that and something deep starts to happen inside of you. He was talking about when you love the source of all life with all your passion, prayer, and intelligence, and understand that every creature, great and small, is a blessing on this earth, well, then everywhere you look is the promised land. At that point, the travelers and the stranger arrived at Emmaus. The stranger was about to leave, and the traveler said, hey, don't leave yet. Come with us. Come inside and have a meal with us. The night is coming, and we would like you to be with us. So they walked inside the inn, and the stranger said nothing more. He simply took the bread from the table, blessed it, and then he broke it in two. And he gave one to Cleopas and one to the other traveler. That bread smelled so good. Really. It smelled so rich and deep, like the teachings of Jesus. And all of a sudden, the memory banks of those travelers started to open up. Their minds were on fire, their hearts were opened. They looked up at the stranger and recognized him for who he was. It was Jesus. And then he disappeared. That's really true. Now, some people think that the stranger was Jesus himself, resurrected from the dead, and some people think the stranger was just a stranger. But does it really matter? What if we were to say that this time is a time to remember and live into the radical love that the great prophet taught? That is what that story is about, and that's what the travelers ran out of that inn and spread the news everywhere. radical love, revolutionary love. This is what we are to live. Amen.